All right, guys, we're back with the Contractor Compass podcast. This is episode 15, and today we got something kind of interesting we're going to be chatting about. We're going to be chatting about leveraging AI in your home service business, could be anything. We obviously in the marketing space are using it a lot. I know, Jason, I didn't know you're implementing it. I know you're implementing it on a few different methods. Tom, I don't know if you've done a ton with AI, but either way, just discussing thoughts on it and what, because there's a lot of different takes on AI. I got some crazy stories that I'll share today, just some people, what they think about it. But yeah, so kind of an interesting topic.
Absolutely.
So to start out, with AI in general, I mean, obviously it's come on super strong and since ChatGPT was launched, which was like a year ago?
Right, yeah. It's
Right?
everywhere.
Dude, it's everywhere. Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just in a quick synopsis, 10,000 foot view from the marketing firm perspective. I mean, we use it for creative. We use it in copy. We use it in the chat bots. We use it. We're actually beta testing a calling AI now, an outbound calling
Nice.
AI. I'll talk about that. We use it for cloning sales guys' voices for
Yep.
voice memos and videos and ads. We use it a lot. We're even implementing something, or not. Well, we're not implementing it yet, but there's a very good friend of mine who runs a very, very, very large e-commerce marketing firm, 104 some employees, 3 locations, 2 countries. Wow. And he is by far, definitely the face of his company. And when people come in to work with them, his name is Eddie, and they want Eddie to check off, right? Like they see Eddie all over the place. Hey, I want Eddie to, can you see what Eddie what thinks about it? Right. So the sales team goes in, types out the exact same thing they just told the prospect, and shoot a voice memo to the prospect, and it's Eddie's voice. Hey, this is Eddie. Got a quick second to look at all your stuff. Looks all good to me. This is what I would do.
Right.
Right. I mean, dude, let's be realistic, Mr. Customer. It's 104 something employee company. You're not talking to Eddie.
Exactly.
Right? So a lot of different ways that we're using it. But I think the easiest way to kind of break this topic, this will not be the only episode on AI, I guarantee it.
Yeah.
But just chatting about it today. So, Jace, if you want to go into how you're using it a little bit, and then I'll go into like more details of how I'm using it and where I see it going, and then we can talk just about. Actually, let's take a step back before we even go into that. How we're using it. What are you guys' thoughts on it?
Man, I think for me personally, it's right where Elon Musk comes out and says it. Right, it's super. I think it's very intriguing. It definitely is going to make things easier. So I'm going to say it's not going to make things easier for those who get left behind, but it's going to make things easier for those who can jump on it quick. And we're already seeing it in every aspect of our life. And this is just the tip of the iceberg on what this is going to do.
Yeah.
But at the level it's performing is where it starts getting really concerning. And I don't think we as a species can keep up with how quick it's going to evolve and learn, unless we do curb it. And so I think, I'm a twofer on it. Like I love tech. Well, I don't want to say I love tech stuff. Like I got an old phone, but I love stuff like this that can make my day easier, right? Like I was the cheater in high school, so I was one eyeballing somebody's paper. So man, if I can type something, exactly. So if it's something that can definitely make me be, because there's a lot of things I have here that I just can't get out there because of either a skill set, and then the learning curve is so long, and then I don't apply myself. But if I can put it into something that can generate it back to me very quickly, I'd like to say I'm still the creator of it, but with AI, you're really not, right? But you're the idea pusher behind it. So I think that's where it's very intriguing. But yes, on the flip side, we still want to be everybody saw Terminator, so we know how this ends.
Oh, dude,
so that'd be my take.
I'm like Will Smith and iRobot.
iRobot, yes, yeah. That's it, man. That's it.
it's ironic that we're talking about this on this podcast because this podcast name was generated from AI as an option.
Yeah, exactly.
The podcast, all the podcast topics that we talk about, guys, I didn't sit down and research topics to talk about. I just got ideas from AI.
That's it. Yeah. Top,
right.
Like just punch in top 10 podcast ideas, right? So.
Correct. The description of our entire podcast, I explained what we were going to be talking about, is written by AI.
Yeah.
Right. Like, guys, it took me 10 minutes to set this up.
Yeah. That's it.
And it did a very good job of explaining what we talk about,
100%.
why we're doing it. Right.
And it does it in a very natural, real, authentic way.
Yep. Yeah. It's insane. What are your thoughts, Tom?
AI is like any tool in your toolbox, right? You need to find the right tool for the right job, and you use that tool the way it was meant to be used. Is what you do, right? So a lot of people use the wrong tool for the wrong job or the wrong, whatever the case may be is, but it does have some fear factor out there, obviously from the press and the news and things like that. But like any technology that you have, you use it the right way and it can be for good.
Yeah. So you got a Swiss Army knife that has a brain, right?
I was just gonna say, like, what are your thoughts? Is it, or Jace, you too? Like, does it like worry you in any manner of what's possible?
Oh God, yeah, 100%. I mean, it's inevitable. I mean, it's something that we've been known now. If you look back 50 years, right, and look how far we've come. If the way they say how we are evolving at such a rapid pace, it's not gonna take us another 10 years to come out the next big thing. In another 10 years. Like, I get that everybody said, hey, by the time we're our age, cars are going to be flying. We absolutely do have that. There's a lot of reason why it's not happening.
Yeah.
And that's because powerful people need to still make money.
Yeah,
but
correct.
On the flip side of it, the technology is there. And in another 3 years with AI, I'm telling you, it's going to be something where if they don't curb it, we will have a problem. So.
Yeah, no, it's pretty nuts. So, a funny story. So when we're doing this, we're like cloning, different voices and whatever for different purposes. And it was funny because when we first started doing that, one of my team members sent me a voice memo of me in the daily chat saying, "Hey team, I just want to let you know I'm going to give you, everybody's getting 30-day paid leave here, and everybody gets a credit card with no limits. Spend as much as you want. You can trust that this is me sending this message." And it sounded exactly like me. And I'm like, this is terrifying.
That's why it gets scary. Yeah.
Yeah. It's because the voice cloning has been out for a while now. Like for right away, there's, scummy people on top of that were, calling people and mimicking voices and like, hey, this is your dad. I'm locked in jail, whatever. I need money, whatever it might be. Right. So it's crazy.
That's the scary part.
Yeah, it's terrifying to see where that might end up. Or like,
have you?
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I think you're gonna talk about it. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, there's like videos where it's completely AI generated and they can make you do whatever they put in, right? It's like, and right now it's almost indistinguishable from an actual, actually being you. So it's crazy, man.
So there's also that situation where I don't know if you guys saw where the parents are sitting in a movie theater, right? And then they talk about the troubles and the risk of AI.
Oh, and yeah.
Where they combined, now where they're combining, people post everything on social media, so they'll grab photos and then post it on there, attach the voice. They just need a snippet, right? Attach the kid's voice. And then before you know it, now you have, child calling mom, telling them they're taking, they need money wired to them. So it can really be disruptive. Obviously, anything that requires a lot of responsibility is always going to fall into the hands of the wrong people. So I just think in a large aspect of it, we're not there on the security side to really know how to protect each other from what's about to evolve out of this. And it's not going to be the police, right? Now we got a whole generation of cybersecurity type people that are going to need to be constantly monitoring every aspect of this, because how new laws get in place is because something bad happened. So we're going to go through the bad happening in order to know what to look for, right? So
yeah, 100%, 100%. So from like a, I mean, we could go on a rabbit hole there, but for like a business use case, right? Just for home service businesses in general, let's just take it from the most basic level. If somebody's listening and they're wondering like how I'm a one man show, I'm a whatever, how can it help me? Couple things, right? So biggest thing I would say would be if you're a one man show in the home service area or home service arena, you're setting your own appointments, you're doing your own whatever, you should automatically, without a doubt, have a chat bot. Like helping you set appointments, right? If you don't want to have an outbound calling bot, because those are relatively new, we actually looked a long time to find one that we like, and we're just
share that with me.
I will, and we're just now beta testing it.
Yeah.
Like literally starting like 2 days ago. So it at the most basic level, you don't have to do that, right? But a chat bot I would 100% do it. So like when you have leads coming in, you have somebody message you on Facebook, when you have whatever. Have a bot responding.
Yep.
That's number one, without a doubt. Also, like if you're, your company Facebook page, your socials, have AI generate your content if you don't want to sit there and do it all, right? Have it generate the copywriting that you did. I would like to keep up my Facebook profiles and stuff, but I don't have the time. Okay, well now it takes 35 seconds.
Yep.
It doesn't.
And it can be set on drip. It can be set on automatic. I mean, these things can do it for you.
And let's just say you don't even know how to do any of that shit, how to set it up like that. Well, I don't know how to set that up, Colton. Okay, then go on ChatGPT and say, hey, type me out like literally 35 seconds.
So one-stop shop.
Speak into your phone, type me out a post for putting in a new AC system. We just put in a new system for a customer. She was really happy. Her name's Jeannie. And write me a Facebook post for it.
Yeah.
Done.
That's it. Right? That's how blogs are being written now. I mean, it's just insane.
Yep. So that at the most basic level possible, I think that's a lot of what you can start using AI for. Now, you can go deeper into like responding to reviews. We haven't implemented anything like that yet. But I know that's being done.
Bird Eye has that built in right now.
Yeah, different things that are being done for like GMB postings and rankings and things to keep up your. I know it's with the platform Yelp. They're also implementing for really, really big firms that have API keys. They're tying in a chat bot for Yelp, which we tried to do and are still trying to do, but we're slowly realizing it's going to take like literally a team of developers because that's just where it is right now. So that's probably on hold. But anyway, so that's being done. That's something to look for down the road. Obviously, outbound calling. If you as that gets better, and if you feel okay with it, because I promise you, get over yourself in that. Oh, I don't want a computer talking to my. Shut up! You don't call your leads anyways.
Yeah.
Okay? And you want to bitch and moan about AI calling your customers and maybe making a mistake here and there, or when it can go and read your whole calendar off and get them booked, or do you want to bitch about having money and going out of business because you don't call your damn leads?
That's it. That's
right?
it.
So
it's all about touch points.
100%. So look for that down the road. I'd recommend that. Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking of it from like a super basic standpoint. Now I kind of got a little more intricate stuff, but from like a super basic standpoint, guy that knows nothing, you start with ChatGPT and go from there. See how it can help you. And
100%.
push onward.
And that's the thing. At the end of the day, I mean, we're now in that new phase where we all got to learn something new, and you have to, because if not, you're gonna get left behind. And I promise you, your business will suffer from it because everybody will be moving, everybody will be sprinting while you're crawling. And that's just that technology leap that we have made once again, just like they did it when the internet came out. If you weren't using the internet back then, and you're still doing your paper, your book, and your pencil, and it took you a long time to get caught up to computers and all that, you were left behind. Same thing with AI, and then it's just rapidly growing. People are starting to figure out, holy crap, this thing can do anything. And definitely in the service business, I mean, back to your point, for just replying to reviews, that would take forever, and then you got to be kind of smart about including some keywords in there too, and trying to bounce off of the response from a customer leaving a good review for you. You got to type all that out. That used to take me godforsaken ever. And if I had 10 reviews come through in one day, I'm sitting there trying to type out, trying to get the keywords in there. Now, through systems like Podium, they have an AI that will write it. It reads their response. It says, "Thank you so much." It's very natural written, and it bumps these keywords right in there. As long as the customer stated, "Hey, he came out to fix our sink," and blah blah blah, it will plug all that in there for you. And then now I'm going through 10 of them in literally probably 2 minutes.
Correct.
Just respond.
And the typing now is, like you said, it's indistinguishable from a person.
Yeah, 100%.
Like 100%. You will have I promise you, guys out there, I'll be able to tell. No, you won't. Right now, calling, you may have a slight idea. Maybe if you're savvy. The only reason I say that is because calling still, even going through all those services that we've gone through and finding the one that we like the best, they still absolutely have a pause time.
Yeah.
So there is a pause to response. It's not long. And honestly, for a slow, well-spoken person, it's not uncommon. Now, if you're like me, it's going to seem weird because there's no space between when I talk. Right?
Yeah, or a lot of companies still work off dialers. Like I know my client does, and there's always a delay in it.
Correct.
And that's just the biggest. That's probably my biggest headache because I hate that, right?
Yep.
And but yeah, there'll be nothing different inside of that AI voicing. But yeah, I mean, definitely booking wise, having something take care of where you ain't gotta have now financially, you can have a system that technically you pay $20,000 for the whole year. That's $15, maybe $10 an hour, right? And it's running an entire dispatching role where it's identifying, conversating at all hours, all days, 7 days a week, 24/7, and then booking for you. Correct. And then your calendar is getting full. And the only thing you got to do now is just monitor, oversee it, make sure. Correct. I mean, there'll be a few hiccups. You got to understand that at least at this point, but it'll get to a point probably within next year. You probably won't see any hiccups with it because it's just they have this natural learning. They call it NPL, natural person learning. About it when you respond, because it will trigger, right? And then you got to respond, and it monitors how you respond. And then the next time when it's faced with something identical to that situation, it will respond the way you just responded. So my NPL is not going to be the same as your NPL because how you respond to your customers is different than mine. So each one still stays very organic to their individual in their company. So you don't lose your identity through it either.
Yep. No, absolutely. Yeah, it's insane. So like for example, the outbound caller that we're using, you have something, it's called like a genius section. And what that is, so like it's connected to this, it's connected to this network, right? Where it has information on everything, right? But also there's still obviously some caveats, like it doesn't know your pricing or it doesn't know your whatever, right? So if you have an outbound caller for setting appointments, like you can set up pricing to where it can go back and refer and learn from these questions that it's being asked, but it can get really, really specific. So it's in the software we're using, it's called a Genius Center. So you can help it guide the conversation, right? Because how is it supposed to know what its goal is, right? So you have to, you can help it guide the conversation. It's not like you're building out like a normal nurture sequence, right? Well, if they respond with this, it responds with this. No, we're past that, right? This is just guiding the conversation. And then you can fill out like, hey, AI, this is our pricing structure. Hey, this is our calendar link. So it can go in, it can read openings and it can, whatever. Hey,
absolutely.
When we were testing it out, of course, I was playing devil's advocate the most I possibly could. And, I'm asking when it has openings, hey, Colton, can I have your email? No. Right. Like, perfect. And just seeing how it would react, and so even at our scale, because we're going to be using it for different companies, right? It's not just one company, it's multiple, or many, right? So we can build in a framework that, hey, for HVAC companies, this is the framework that we plug in, but we'll plug in their pricing too, and about them, blah, 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 to where it can answer things really, really specific. And you're not going to know if it's Tessa, the robot, or Tessa in the front office.
Exactly. That's exactly it. Yeah. And at the end of the day, I mean, it's just going to make your conversion rate go up a lot more because it's consistent. You are removing emotion to an extent of it's still natural, but the person the girl who's just not having a good day because her baby was up all night, or the dude who's on the phone, because he's hungover is not performing well. It's going to perform at 100% every single day.
Correct.
And man, I'm not all about. Now, here's the thing. I believe when AI takes over positions, there's other positions that now are available. Like I said, the cybersecurity side, different aspects of it, to where we as a species need to elevate ourselves to now monitor the robots, right? But or script writing or something to where you writing out not a nurture sequence, but things of helping these AI stay on track. But all in all, at the end of the day, you have to start having and get familiar with AI getting implemented into your business and having it be a part of your day to day. And it already is, and you just don't know it.
Correct.
But if you own a business, it doesn't matter the level you're at. It's definitely going to elevate your business to the next step. And then again, at the end, if you're working with marketing companies and they're not implementing AI, that's one thing I have noticed. And I'm just going to say within the last 6 months, we got our butt kicked. Because the marketing companies that we were using didn't have AI implemented, and everybody else seemed to just surpass us so quick in some of our areas, and I just couldn't understand it. And come to find out, AI was the culprit.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and that's the thing from a small business owner as well. Like, if you implement these things, like you can play on a level with some of the big boys because it's no longer. And like how it's so cost effective, guys. Like you might have a $15 monthly subscription.
Yeah,
just replaced 15 employees, guys.
Yeah,
so like
in a whole marketing division, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like I know that I haven't looked into them a lot yet, but I know that there's bots now that just run and monitor campaigns.
Yeah,
right. We're looking into that as we speak, right? Because obviously we have a team of media buyers for every platform. Not that I want to get rid of my media buyers, but like. What's the possibility there? Like
100%.
It'd be unbelievable. So, it's definitely something to implement if you haven't, even just at the smallest level. I mean, and like I said, from a cost effective standpoint, you can't beat it. I mean, even for like, just take calling, right? Like, which is probably the most advanced thing that we're talking about, a human being speaking to another human being. Right.
Yeah.
And now it's a robot. Right. And even that, I think it's like 30 cents a minute.
Right, exactly.
Right, like guys, it's going to beat as it continues to improve, it's going to beat the booking rate of your CSR team or your call center team. It's going to be cheaper. It's going to perform all the time at 100%.
Yep.
Right. Just unbelievable. But
all hours, 7 days a week. I mean, it's bananas.
Correct. And while we've been chatting about this in the 23 minutes, Tom's actually reinvented his entire business, and now he has a team startup.
That's it.
Yeah. I have to be honest with you guys. I don't know a lot about AI, so I'm ready to professional speak. So
he's taking notes. He's taking notes as we're talking. He's like, man, I'm going to implement this and this.
Well, by the way, I just went into ChatGPT and got my password checked around and fixed. So
there you go. Yeah, it's definitely crucial. And I mean, a lot of the younger kids play with it, right? And as they always do, they'll take a software technology, they'll mess with it, and then they become very advanced in it. And I know people who are starting full businesses, whether it be in our spaces or not, just off utilizing AI and having very much success. And again, I really liked your point, Colin, was you absolutely now. You don't have to have the budget to spend, on a call center, $60,000, $70,000 a year. You can literally pay that $15 a month and have it managed exactly for you with a way better output. So I think at the end of the day, if anybody is really trying to take something away from this, is you got to force yourself to get comfortable with it.
Because it's not going anywhere.
It's not. No, it's only going to get more advanced and in your face.
No, you're wrong. Tom, what's up?
I just happen to have a 21-year-old son who basically watches YouTube and all the different social medias and all that. And he's telling me that, look, like I'm done. The AI is going to take over every job, and we're basically just, we're done.
Yeah.
Like, you're still going to need somebody to flip hamburgers, so you can start.
Just be the one that has to
before they figure that out. So start there.
That's so funny.
He's just gonna be the guy that creates the kill button, right?
Yeah.
And you'll be all set. But it will. It's gonna be very much advanced, and then I think we'll be at the end of the day, though. One of the things that is I don't see it really happening probably within the next 10 years is the labor side, the manual labor side.
That's gonna be
It's definitely
great. That's
yeah.
gonna be some iRobot shit, man. When there's robots digging holes in my yard,
That's it. That's it, dude. They're trying hard. They're trying real hard, and they have been. And it's probably there a little bit, but they're going to learn a lot through this technology side of it first, and how it can learn really quickly,
Yep.
And then advance through the technology side, and then implement, or I should say, probably implement it into the machine itself, or implant it.
Like years ago, probably years ago, 2 years ago, maybe, I almost invested in an auto like mowing company.
Yeah.
Like it was just a self mower, but not these piece of shit ones you buy on Amazon. Like it was the bigger, like it was an aggressive startup.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's sick. Right. So like just little stuff like that. And then just the other day I saw a video. We might've been talking about this on a previous podcast, but I saw a video. I think it was BMW teamed up with Chat GPT, and they made a robot. And in this video, this robot is standing behind a center island in a kitchen with a bunch of stuff on the island. And the guy goes, hey, whatever robot's name was, make me something to eat. And the robot's like, okay. And it grabs an apple and it cuts up the apple and it lays it in slices and it hands him the apple on the board. And he's like, here's an apple with whatever. Right. And he's like, you're just there. Your jaw is like, holy shit, whatever.
Yeah.
But then he goes, why did you cut me up an apple? There's a lot of stuff on the table. Cause there's a lot of shit. It's not all like edible stuff.
Right.
And he's like, the robots were like, well, the apple was the only thing that was edible. That seems like a healthy choice for this time of day. And whatever, right? And explains this reasoning. Wow. It was psychotic.
I was gonna say, to be able to process that.
Yeah. And like relay why it chose the apple because of the time of day it was and the healthy, and it is, well, I'm like,
see, and that's insane. And then it just continues to evolve off that, right?
Correct.
And now it's forcing you to eat it.
Eat your apples, dude.
Yeah.
Because I bet the AI can argue a lot better than you can.
Yeah, shit. Yeah. And then when you give it hands and it's stronger than you because it's run by hydraulics and it's kicking.
That's it.
Eating apple.
Now we're definitely in iRobot territory.
Shooting lasers at you, dude.
That's it. That's how they conquer the world. That's how they get to the one world government is via AI.
We just switched from a contractor podcast to a
exactly. End of the world conspiracies. Oh golly. But I mean the truth of the matter is you have some of the very, very elites like Elon Musk, and you even have a lot of people in politics right now that coming out, and even some of the big banking institutions, what's his name, Diamond there, coming out and talking about it. CNBC talks about it a lot, just how much of a role AI is taking effect. But
correct.
Really, to kind of bring it down granular is, as in our business right now, we can capitalize on it. And I'm looking at anything that has AI implemented into it to give us that little edge over the competition, because most people are selling the same thing. Most people got the same song and dance. There's a few things we talked about on a couple week back podcast, like some tips and tricks that you can do. But at the end of the day, if you're just not lining things out to separate yourself from the competition, where you don't got to spend stupid amounts of money, you will be left behind in it.
Yeah. It's it'd be interesting. So interviewing, and we'll wrap up here, guys. I know we're going on 3, but be interesting to see. It'd be interesting to be in a space where you're like actually on the cutting edge, because we're just getting the result. We're getting the product, right? And then we're taking it and we're using it, right? Even like, we're not a guys. The guys listening, we're a marketing firm here. We're not a tech company, right? So these up on calling systems and stuff, we're just interviewing and bringing them into our platform, and we're helping them utilize them to help you, right? And our partners. like we're not creating this. Because we have been interviewing multiple different companies and options. I have been speaking with these guys. Like yesterday, 2 days ago, I was on a Zoom call with a guy, one of the 3 founders of a startup AI outbound calling service.
Yeah.
And it'd be interesting to be on the edge of that. Like our COO here at Tier 1 is a computer engineer. So
Nice.
Extremely smart guy. And so he gets this a lot more than I do. And he actually is the one that originally designs, like he's the one that looks over all of our processes and automations on the back end to make sure everything are correct. Like before we hopped on this call or on this episode today, we're live streaming to a bunch of, and I don't know how to connect things. So I messaged him, right?
Yeah.
He's the one that looks over everything. But so he goes, Colton, is really not that hard, right? It's to do what these guys are doing. And then they're just selling it with different, wrapped in different paper. Right. He goes, there's 50,000 of them because he's the one that's finding these interviews that we're taking because he knows much better than I know what to look for.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's really not that difficult. Like the tech is there. They're just taking it, applying it in a different way.
Exactly.
So it'd be interesting to be on the cutting edge of that. And
gosh, yeah.
Somebody mentioned something to me today. We brought on a new partner this morning. And we were talking about AI and just BSing on a Zoom call. And he said, he goes, imagine like we have all this shit available to us now. He goes, it's definitely been around for longer than the public has seen it. He goes, imagine what he goes, are politicians even our politicians anymore? He says,
that's it.
Talking. And I'm like, dude, that's a
yeah. Well, yeah, 100%. And one of the big things with the AI is people are having AI create more AI apps or more AI functionalities. Yep. They'll ask AI, how do I build this utilizing AI, right? And now it's constantly evolving on top of itself. And that's where we're getting. First, Chat GPT came out and was just injected into other people's forms, right? It was used as a back layer, and everybody built on top of that and asking the questions and doing that. And people, like you said, wrapped it in their own kind of paper and put a bow on it and called it their own. Because he pretty much put out everything out there and he said, you guys can use it. And then, and that's why Elon Musk took a step back and he's like, if you're going to try to profit off this, I don't want any part of it anymore. Yeah. But on the flip side of it, then people got smart and they said, okay, well, if it can answer this question, how do I make AI do this? How do I make it do this? And it's constantly just evolving. And like I said before, now they're like, hey, how can I have AI do voice simulation? How can I have AI handle a call center for me and manage a call script for X, Y, and Z? And it can literally pinpoint and personalize it all. It's mind blowing, man. You asked what is like. I had it write a children's book for my daughter with her name in it, and I just gave it a quick little thing because she was curious, and it literally gave me pretty much a 10-page storybook, short story for her about unicorns, her name in it, and this whole like crazy path that she took through the wilderness. And I was blown away. And I asked it like maybe 3 questions, and that was it.
Yeah.
So it's insane, man. Because I could never write a book.
We'll talk. We'll do another episode in 3 months when they've all.
Exactly. It won't be us on here.
Correct.
Now,
awesome.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we'll wrap up today. I know we started a little late. We're usually, obviously, for all the listeners, we're usually 2:00 on Thursdays.
There it is.
Buy payments. That's what Tom's got up on the screen, just in case you're just listening today and not watching.
Right.
But we'll catch you on the next one. This is episode 15, AI, how to implement it into your home service business. If you're not on the train, get on the train, get over yourself because it's coming. It's not going anywhere, and you are going to lose if you don't have it.
Exactly.
We'll see you on the next one, guys.